Hey, Happy New Year! This is a time that a lot of people like to say is good for reflection. I tend to have existential crisis over it, so instead, we are going to rank video games. I finished 34 games in the year 2022, so this is what I thought of them. Spider-Man Miles Morales was the first game that I finished last year, which is kind of perfect because it's actually holiday themed, so it was very nice and I was going to say cozy, but it was actually winter, which is very at odds with Australia, but you know, it had the Christmas vibes, which was lovely. Spider-Man on the PS4 is actually one of the few games that I have platinumed, so I was expecting to enjoy this as much as I liked the first one, and I really did like it. I really enjoyed it. It was fun playing Miles and having a different set of powers, using the stealth and that sort of thing was really fun. I think I want to rank this one as I really liked it. I can't remember where I put Spider-Man, but I really liked Miles' entry. It was really enjoyable. I feel very sorry for my friends who had to keep answering the question, is Dragon Age Origins the first one? Because apparently I have a really hard time understanding the Dragon Age naming convention. I might just be stupid. Dragon Age Origins is my first, not Mass Effect, BioWare game. I was keen to get into it. I was nervous to get into it. My friends absolutely adore it, and it was kind of fun messaging them as I was playing and telling them the journey of my warden as I went. I was extremely confused for a lot of this game. I could not figure out how the battles worked, and I reckon I feel like 5-10 hours in before I realized that the attack was kind of like automatic, like a MMO. I played as a half-elf mage, which then I dreamt up this whole backstory because it tells you like you're taken away from your family because the circle like guards magic because magic is dangerous. So then I decided that my warden was very much angry at the mages and treated becoming a warden as an opportunity for freedom to actually express herself with magic and maybe go a little bit off the rails. So I guess I was heading down this kind of dark path with her, and then Wynne joined the group, and the conversations that I had with Wynne turned things around. I had this really wonderful journey with my warden that I absolutely adored. I romanced Zev, and that was again another thing of like she latched onto like a free elf or someone who she saw as portraying himself as quite free and hedonistic and always available to do his own choices. And then it turned out that's actually not the case. And so they really bonded over that. So it was kind of like this ultimate pairing together, and it was just a really good journey. So aside from like the actual technical mechanical game bits that I could not wrap my head around, the rest of it I adored. I just enjoyed it so much. The story was so good. So I feel like I also want to put that in. I loved the story, but I really liked the game itself, and I kind of want to go back and do another journey with someone else and see how tied into it I can get. Will I get time for that in my life? I don't know. After absolutely loving Ori and the Blind Forest, I thought I was also going to jump into Will-o'-the-Wisps and love it too. And I did eventually. I think it was just the first hour was a shock because the combat changed, and I had that first hour and I was very much like, no, like, put it back, I don't like it. I really liked in Blind Forest the auto aim, I suppose you would call it. The whole battle system was that you could kind of stay away and like shoot projectiles that auto tracked to your enemies. But Will-o'-the-Wisp added in, I guess I'm going to call it Hollow Knight kind of battle system because that's my closest reference, where you actually have to attack the enemies yourself with like a little sword, magic sword. Other than that, the story, the artwork, the emotion of it, I really connected with. Again, I 100%ed this game because I adored being in it so much. So I'm going to put it in, I did love it, but it shocked me to start with when it was not the same. Half-Life 2 was so much fun to play on the channel. It actually almost didn't get finished. I almost didn't finish this game. I hate Ravenholm, and I hate the little poison head crabs. They are the most terrifying thing in the world. It was hitting on my arachnophobia so bad, and I was so scared, so genuinely scared recording that. And I was filled with trepidation that this chapter, this one chapter, I thought this was the turning point and the rest of the game is going to be like that. And so I desperately messaged into the Discord and they're like, you're fine, you just gotta get through this chapter. You've probably got like an hour, half an hour to go. You'll be okay. So thank you for that. But on the flip side, Highway 17 is one of the best chapters of a game that I've ever played. I just enjoyed that so much. I had so much fun doing that. So where does this put Half-Life 2 on here? I feel like it's better than when I played it. It's definitely not I really liked it. So I feel like I liked it. Again, really liked making Let's Play videos out of it. I think that makes those games so much more fun for me because I know I have this whole community of people who are just excited about this game as well that I get to share it with, and that's just so much fun. I really like Austin Wintory's music, so The Pathless was a game that I was very interested in just to hear the soundtrack, and then I saw the gameplay and it's super interesting too. It gives me, I suppose, Shadow of the Colossus vibes a little bit in that there's like these giant boss fights and a really empty open world. The traversal's really fun. I'm not particularly good at it. I bet there's tons of other people who are and get like these amazing runs with all the shots. I'm just not that good at games. It was absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed it. I still think it's probably not in a really, really liked it, especially when I'm looking at the two titles there. It's like, I think I liked it less than that. But it was just a wonderful experience.
Speed round.
Monument Valley and Monument Valley 2 at the same time because I smashed those two games out in a weekend. I really like them. We're going to go pyong, pyong. Uncharted Lost Legacy is the last of the Uncharted games left for me to play. It was really nice to finish that series off. I like Chloe. I like Nadine. It was fun to play with them together and their dynamic because they're both kind of a little anti-hero-ish, especially when you think of how they compare to Nate, who's very like, he's a hero despite the mass murder. The environments in this game were incredible. I really enjoyed the puzzles in the game as well, and it was fun. It was a fun little jaunt, I suppose, of a game. Naruto Rise of a Ninja is one of my favorite games from, how old is it? 15 years ago? That sounds about right. Is actually a genuinely good, like, I think it's open world, semi-open world, RPG, action RPG fighting game based around Naruto. I just desperately wanted to play it again this year and I did, and it's an instant just loved it. And I don't know, it just looks good. The music is good. The combat is excellent. Just 100% just an excellent game. 12 minutes I actually feel really bad about. I really wanted to like 12 minutes. It's honestly, I feel like it's actually less than I played it. I feel like it's over now. I didn't enjoy it that much. And I wanted to so bad. It just didn't resonate with me in the mechanics or in the story. I was left confused as heck at the end of it and I just looked up the answer. I feel like I wasn't in the headspace to be playing puzzle games where I felt like I wasn't questioning enough the games and pushing enough and being experimental enough in how I was playing, and like I needed a more guided experience, so it could just be like a bad time. The Last Express was such a fun game to play, and thank you so much for the recommendations in the comments to try it out after I played Titanic Adventure at the time. I liked this game. Do they even make games like this anymore? Because this is brilliant. It always makes me wish I knew more about history and world history, because I feel like there's so much more to get out of these games when you know those sorts of things. And I just really liked it, and it makes me want to play more games that are like that. Unravel, I was expecting to be a cute little platformer. What I was not expecting was emotions, and sad emotions at that. I thought it was going to be happy and cute, but I really liked the game and the fact that you have to sort of retie your yarn, and it just added a really fun little element to a platformer that I haven't experienced before. I liked that about it. I'm going to say I liked it. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is such a good looking game. It blew my mind how good this game looked. Every aspect of the game was just really fun. I really loved Rivet. Just a fun game. It's always silly. I loved the alternate reality of it all. I want to put this up in, I really liked it. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. It was actually kind of a risky game for me to play. I had to be very careful and sort of check in with myself all the time. I have talked about this on the channel before, and I'm in a bit of a weird space, but I have previously been diagnosed with bipolar, I think specifically type 2, but I also have rapid cycling. It's a whole thing. Mental health is an ongoing thing. So with Hellblade, the risk is, for me, setting off a mood state, like an episode, because it is a game that represents schizophrenia, and it actually does an incredible job doing that. The story of Hellblade is so intense. I do want to play the sequel. I really enjoyed the game itself. I loved the combat. The combat was so fun, even though it was hella stressful. I just really liked that kind of puzzle reaction, trying to figure out the things. I wish the game did a little bit more telling you how to actually play it so that you could actually really get into how the combat works, because I found what I did was I looked online and that there were people breaking down the structure of how the combat actually works and how you can build combos and that sort of thing. And once I'd read that, I could then apply it to my gameplay, which meant I got a lot more out of it. I think I want to put this in... I don't know if it's I liked it or I really liked it, because I feel like the combat mechanics boosts it into I really liked it. Yeah, I feel good about that. We'll put it there. Demon Slayer: The Hinokami Chronicles is definitely a game for people who haven't watched the anime, which maybe feels like a weird thing to say. I've watched Demon Slayer through twice. Yeah, that sounds about right. Twice, maybe 3 times, because I really like it. It's enjoyable. I've read the whole manga. I have feelings about the end. We won't go into it. Unfortunately for the Demon Slayer game, I have played an excellent anime tie-in RPG. Unfortunately, Hinokami Chronicles is not that good for me as a player to play. There's a lot of time in menus, which is fine, like some games are menus. The problem with Hinokami Chronicles is, for me, as someone who's seen the anime a few times and is very familiar with it, being in the menus and then going to small amounts of gameplay and then you watch cutscenes of the anime means that there are times, my husband pointed this out, he was like, wow, the cutscenes must be long because the controller is sitting on the couch next to you. That's how long you're not playing this game for. And that's why I say it's a game maybe for the people who read the manga, because if you haven't seen the anime, it'll all be new. But I've bought a game to watch something that I've already seen multiple times. On top of that, the battle system was alright. It's really cool when you actually get to fight and you get to see the moves and use the moves and see them animated. It looks spectacular. The game itself, like the cell shading and everything, looks amazing. When you get the little areas of the world that you can actually run around in, it's fun to be in that world and run around the map. But there's just kind of like a severe lack in the game for me that makes it feel like you're actually in there being a Demon Slayer, which is just a pity. I really wanted to like it. It's not so bad that I didn't, like, desperately didn't like it. It was just, yeah, kind of played it. Haven, I'm just going to rank straight away. I loved that game. I am a massive fan of slice of life as a genre. Haven is just a slice of life game. It's a sci-fi slice of life game. It's just chill. Being able to spend so many small moments with you and Kay were just really special to me. The gameplay itself, like the battles were fine. Going around the islands I really liked. I think I 100%ed, like clearing everything and looking at everything, because I just liked being in the world. But it was really the characters and their story and their shared moments that really hit home for me. I can see that wouldn't vibe with absolutely everyone. It feels really niche as something to enjoy, but it just really resonated with me and I loved it. Darksiders was one of the co-op games that I did with my husband. It was not the game I was expecting, and I feel like this says a lot about me as a person. I thought Darksiders was a chess game. I just saw like a dude on a horse that's rearing up and I'm like, yeah, obviously chess or tactics. I don't know. I definitely wasn't expecting sort of like a hack and slash action game with a vague story to it about the end of the world and whatever and demons and stuff. It's a long game. I was surprised that we were still learning things game mechanic wise so far through it. I think it was a fun first entry though, and I want to play 2 and 3. I think there's 3 of them. Probably just by myself. I feel like I liked it. Sea of Solitude felt like a really personal game. It felt like a game that someone made to tell their story. And it's a story that I relate to. I got bullied in high school. It wasn't the best of times. I think I thought I was going to enjoy the game more. I think maybe it was just... I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like, I played it, I liked it. It just feels like I think I wanted more out of it than I got out of it. With Dragon Age 2, at least I knew it was the second game. I didn't like this as much as Origins. I don't know if that's a controversial opinion. I don't know if it's my own fault as well. I did a very weird thing where I decided that Hawke was going to be a bit of a jerk. I decided that the way Hawke was going to deal with being dispossessed of their home and having some of their family die and having no money and being forced into slavery, essentially, was going to be that she never took anything seriously. She never let anyone get close. She let everything be a joke. And because of that, she didn't really get close to anyone. She slept around a lot, but never had any kind of fulfilling actual relationships. And then the only two that she'd actually let her guard down with, which were Varric and Aveline, she couldn't pursue romantically. And they never pushed her too hard. And I think because I decided to play Hawke as being aloof, I then never felt connected to the game either. It just didn't connect with me in the same way that Origins did, where I felt so strongly about my warden and the path that she was on. I'm really bummed that I just didn't get into it as much as Origins. I think mechanically it worked a whole lot better and I knew what was going on. It just didn't hit the same. I still really liked it. I'm really looking forward to playing Inquisition. Just didn't like it as much as I liked Origins. Star Wars Force Unleashed was a weirdly paced game. It felt like it was going to be really long and then suddenly it was over. It was a very fun story to play through. It was fun like being a bad guy who then had to change a heart and that sort of thing. That was really cool. The Force powers were fun. The fighting was alright. Quite liked it. I'm really keen to get into the other Star Wars game that I can't even remember the name of. They've just announced a sequel for it. I'm sure it's very cool. It's fun to play a Star Wars game every now and again. It's cool to be a Jedi, or a bad Jedi turned good. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, or as I was calling it, The Last of Us Kirby, because honestly when I saw that trailer for the first time and it was all cartoony and you had the escalator and it was all grown over and I legitimately said out loud, have they made a cartoon Last of Us? Is that what this is? That is wild. That was Kirby. So much fun. I'm going to instantly put it in I loved it because I did. I just was obsessed with this game. I wasn't very smart at this game. All the little mini game levels were so good. I liked even the little like tilty tray thing. It looked incredible. It was just fun and adorable and I love Kirby so much. God of War 2, not Ragnarok, God of War 2, fun. Such a fun game. I'm enjoying continuing my God of War journey. I love the puzzles, I love the fights, I love the story, I love the world. Everything about this game is so much fun. Just good. Happy to be there. I know I just said like I love so much about it, but I feel like it's not at the level of the games that I've actually said I loved. I really liked it as a game. Can't wait to keep doing more of it. Far Lone Sails. We actually played on stream together, which was so much fun. Sorry, I kept setting everything on fire. Such a fun little quirky, weird game. Very sad and lonely, and I just described it as fun. I think I liked it. Naruto, The Broken Bond. It's a direct sequel to Naruto Rise of a Ninja. I was having a bit of an anime year, apparently. I was having a Naruto year. This game, not as good as Rise of a Ninja. And I feel bad saying that. The thing is, they did that sequel thing where they're like, hey, you know what's really good about this game? We're going to make it so much bigger and fill it full of stuff that's got nothing to do with anything. Story, really good. The way it looked, really good. Fight system, still really fun. And it's just such a bummer that it felt like it did it wrong. It added fishing. I love fishing. This was a bad fishing minigame. This kind of just didn't work as well and I'm bummed. And I still liked it. I liked some of it, but I feel like it's an I played it because it's just, I didn't like it that much. Like it's enough that I wouldn't play the third game if they made another one, unless they were like, hey, we promise we put it back the way it was. A Way Out, an actual co-op game that I've co-opted with my husband, which was fun and also weird. I didn't like the ending. I survived. My character survived. Nearly lost it in the shoot the gun bit. I feel like the thing about this game was it does a lot of things, which is cool. The thing is, it does none of those things particularly well. So it's a perfectly fine, we're going to put it in I played it. It's a perfectly fine game. Bugsnax is weird. I don't know if I liked Bugsnax. I think it's just too weird for me. All the mechanics and everything, I really liked. It's bright and fun and colourful, which are all things I like. It's weird when you catch something and then your controller just suddenly goes, Snakebud! And it's like, what? Why are you talking to me? I feel like it's somewhere between I liked it and I played it, but I feel like it's an I played it because I never would want to play it again. So I accidentally kind of started a games club at my work. I don't know how I did it, but I did. And together we finished Overcooked 2, which was very funny because the first time we played it, we were playing it just tabletop because we didn't have all the plugs to plug things in and we couldn't see the screen very well. And there was a lot of, is that a chicken or a potato? What are we doing? And then we got 3 players and we just aced that game. So easy. So much fun. I actually really enjoy, I think I've talked about it before, I really actually enjoy the Overcooked games. I know a lot of people find them stressful. I don't find them stressful. I find it quite easy to time manage. I suppose I can do one thing, go do another thing, pick up the slack for someone else. It makes me quite good at my job and I can do it in Overcooked too. Limbo, we played on a stream together. This is what we played for Halloween. It was fun. It was scary. There's a lot of arachnophobia stacked right out the front of that game. No, thank you. That was awful. The game itself, so clever, so creepy, so minimal in its color palette and its soundscape, I suppose. It just really sits you there feeling isolated. I'm going to put Limbo in I liked it. I think it's an incredibly clever game and I appreciate it for what it is. Hades is 100% hands down, no questions, my game of the year. We're going to just chuck it up the top there because it is. What an amazing game. I was putting off playing this game because we bought it because I was like, I've heard everyone say it's so good and I wanted to try it. I was putting it off because I was really worried I was going to have a Hollow Knight reaction to it because Hollow Knight, I've talked about it, I have a very conflicting relationship with Hollow Knight. And I didn't want to have that with Hades. I'm so glad I played this game. It's just incredible. I liked it so much. I bought it from my friend and was like, no, you have to play this. I like it so much. I talked about it so much at work. Someone else picked up their old game that they were playing to continue. The game loop sucks me in so hard. And I never feel like the game is punishing me for not being an amazing player. It rewards me with story. It rewards me with upgrades. It rewards me with a drive to try again. This is the first game in a long time because normally I play for like 1 to 2 hours. That's about my gaming session and then I'll put it down, I'll go do something else, I'll come back. This game, I reckon I got up at like 6 in the morning and then it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock or something when my husband's got up and he's gone, have you had breakfast yet? I had not stopped playing. I didn't even realize that was the time. I was just so sucked into this game. And even now, I keep thinking about, because I've rolled the credits, so it's finished, because there's so much to do in this game. And I even now think about going back and doing these other things. I'm pretty desperate that I want to date both Than and Meg. I think we're just like a perfect little triangle there. And I just want to know about everyone and talk to everyone. And there's just so much dialogue and the game looks incredible and the voice actors are wild and all the character designs are perfect. And then they announce Hades 2 and I'm just like jumping out of my skin in excitement and just what an incredible game. Stray, I had known about for the longest time. I knew about Stray for years. It used to be called HK. I used to follow the blog about it being developed, and then I think I just kind of forgot about it, figured it wasn't getting made anymore, didn't see or hear anything about it, and then suddenly I was watching this Stealthy Cat game set in the future in a state of play, and I was like, holy shit, it's HK. And then it was like, Stray. Stray is such a good game. I'm going to put this, I don't know why I put my hand up like this every time I'm ranking. I'm putting Stray up in I loved it because I did. It's just a really well made game. What stood out to me a lot, being a total expert on this subject, was the game design. One of the bits that stands out the most to me is when you're running through the tunnels and all the Zerks are like flooding at you, and I felt like the game subtly led you through the perfect path, but it made you feel like you were making the decisions. You're running away and you can see you've got like a divergence in the path, and then suddenly they all flood out of one side, so you make the decision to go left, and then they're coming at you from the left-hand side, so you will then change to jump over to something else. And it was just done really well. Like, it didn't feel like I was being herded. I was at the back of my mind after the section felt like, oh, that's really well done. But in the moment, it felt like I was running for my life. I was making the decisions correctly to avoid danger. Just very well designed. Was not expecting this game to be dark. Was not expecting this game to play on weird, sad, abandoned, post-apocalypse, what is humanity, emotions. When I started this channel, the first game I ever Let's Played, or started to Let's Play because I never finished it, was The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I have now finished that game. Specifically the 3D version. I could not finish it as a Let's Play, and I feel really bad about that because I don't like leaving something unfinished. It was just a game that was too difficult for me to Let's Play and was suffering because of me Let's Playing it, which by that I mean I was enjoying the game less because I was recording it. Playing it on the 3DS, I think really improved the experience for me as well. There's definitely, because I've played a little bit of both, I could tell there'd been quality of life updates, the way that the menu works, the way where you put your items, the fact that your ocarina is always there available to play. There was just little things that made the game a better experience to play. It's somewhere up here, like I loved it. I feel like I really liked it. I understand why people reference it all the time as one of the greatest games of all time because yeah, it's a pretty bloody good game. The Water Temple was so much fun, and I feel like I benefit again from the 3DS because wow, that could have been a very annoying level, having to go into the menu, put your boots on, having to go walk around with your boots on, then go into the menu, take your boots off. Would have been a whole thing. I just literally had to just like tap my knuckle on it all the time when I was going through that. And the Water Temple was such a well-designed temple. The game itself just so cool. And the best bit was when I finished it, I was actually at a friend's place. And so we were sitting on the couch, we're all snuggled up. I've got like, arms stretched out so we can all, watch and play together, all two of us, me and her, fighting Ganon and beat him. Was a bit like, holy shit, that's it, that's the game. And then we've got to escape the tower. Zelda does a really good job at being like all powerful and getting us out. Thanks, Zelda. And then basically being like, wow, it's the end, gonna roll credits, so cool. My friend gets up to make herself a coffee, and that's when he comes back to fight again. Because I thought, oh, it's not doing that RPG thing of you've got to beat the final boss like 3 times. Yeah, then he comes back. We're sitting there in the like sweet seat of success, and then he comes back. I played my first ever Metroid game this year, and technically I played the first Metroid as well. I played Metroid Zero Mission, which is a remake, a GBA remake of the original Metroid. Very, very cool game. After I finished it, was very much like, I see why this is a genre. Didn't know I was going to like it as much as I did, because my husband really likes the Metroid games, and I'd been sort of a bit like, I don't know if I want to try it. Hollow Knight, again, Hollow Knight, and it's not, I think it's more Souls. I think it's the Souls aspect of Hollow Knight that I don't like, because it turns out I really like Metroid. I smashed that out so fast. It was just very cool. I always felt like I was learning something new, discovering something new, going to a new area. Also, the Metroids are terrifying. All the other enemies, like, okay. And then the Metroids turn up. I think I actually want to put that in, and I loved it. That was just so much fun. Klonoa, Daughter Phantomile is another one of the games that I played co-op with my husband. It was technically a replay for me. I played this game on the Wii a few years ago. I know it's it's going on a new layer. It's a liked it. Klonoa is a very weird platformer. The story and everything, strange, but it's more the jumping mechanic that is the odd part to me, where the float doesn't really help you achieve anything. You're better off jumping a perfect jump than trying to float and fix your mistake in your jump. The difficulty scaling in this game, also really weird. It's really chill for most of it. It gets a little tricky trying to find and unlock some of the little puzzle piece flippy board things. And then you get to the last level and it does that with the difficulty. Suddenly you've got precision platforming required because all the platforms can only fit you and you've got to jump perfectly through them. And by the way, when you first jump out onto it, we're going to spawn an enemy that jumps behind you. So you have to do fast, perfect timing as well. You can't wait. You just have to do it spot on. And finally, my last game of the year that I finished right before I had to go home for Christmas was God of War Ragnarok. We are putting it immediately in. I loved it. Because I did. What a solid game. This game made me cry in the first 5 minutes, it made me cry in the last 5 minutes, and it made me cry a couple of times in the middle as well. Just so emotionally fulfilling as a journey to go on. I also platinumed this game. It's my 5th platinum. I don't platinum a lot. I got my resolution. I talked a bit when I played the 2018 God of War. I knocked Sigrun down to easy because I was having a grumpy day. I beat Gnar on normal and I beat the Berserker King on normal, and I don't care about difficulty levels, but it did feel satisfying to know that if I do practice and apply myself at the level that's the right level of challenge for me, I could do it. The game looks amazing. I loved all the characters. All of the voice acting was amazing. Kratos is an inspiration. I genuinely want to take on some of Kratos's perspective on life. There was a really key moment where Atreus felt guilty about something that had happened. He felt guilt over a situation that he couldn't have influenced, which is something I feel a lot. And Kratos is just like, dude, no. I just found that really nice. And I find Kratos and his self-confidence kind of aspirational. I don't know if that's what you meant to take away from that game, but I do. Kratos's and Atreus's relationship really grew, and it was really nice to see how that grew, and just all around such a lovely game. And I nearly didn't get it immediately. I don't often get games the year they come out. I don't often play games the year they come out. They're pricey. And right before its release, I suddenly got FOMO and was like, you know what? I am really excited about Ragnarok. Like when they actually first announced it, I screamed. I'm glad I let myself get swept up in the hype of it and play it as it came out. It's nice being able to look at this list and seeing how many of the games are actually at like the top half of it, how much I really liked the games that I played last year. Have you played any of these games? Where would you rank them for you? Fingers crossed that the testing has gone okay for all of this, because that means I'll be able to make more videos. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this one. Hit subscribe for future videos that may be coming, and hopefully I will see you soon. Bye!